Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. That was much better. We're going to be enthusiastic. Let's be enthusiastic for this moment. So thank you for sharing your goodness and your morning with me. Oh, well, yeah, we're going to get to that in just a moment. We are awake and ready. That's a good thing to so why don't we just jump right in, right? So let me go ahead and share the screen. One moment, let me make sure everybody's muted first. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. So go ahead and join me now in our opening prayer. Hold on. Here we go. My soul has but one goal, to awaken to the truth that is forever true. My heart has but one desire, to remember the passion of infinite bliss. My mind has but one focus, to embrace the reality that is forever real. I choose to awaken now to the infinite love that is my source. I give everything to this love, just as it has given everything to me. I am awake now. How is everyone today? How feels everyone today? Lovely. For those of you who weren't around when we first started saying that little thing at the end, awake and ready, that was Yogananda. He used to start his classes in that way. He would ask everyone, he would want everyone to get their energy up and to proclaim that this is what they want and that they're ready for it. That this is what they want and that they're ready for it. Nothing happens until you know what you want and then realize that you're ready for what you want. You can want something, but not be ready for it. You can step back and say, you know what, I'll be ready when I've read more books, when I've gone to more workshops, when I've moved to Namaste Village, and whatever it may be, then I'll be ready. And the whole teaching is you're ready right now. You've always been ready. That's all there is. If there's only one reality, then you're ready for that one reality right now. But if you claim otherwise, if you claim that I'm not ready until, well, then you're just keeping yourself from that which has always been given. So what do you claim about yourself? Who do you claim to be? I was at the breakfast table, and so often at the breakfast table, the direction of the lesson is revealed. And people were talking about saying, well, I am this and I am that, or I want this and I want that. And all of these things keep the reality out here. I am, and then you fill in the blanks. I am a man. I am living in Ahihik. I am getting ready to whatever it is I'm getting ready for. And it keeps it out here instead of realizing I am that. I want only that. That is reality. So notice when you're claiming something other than that. When you say I am, and then whatever you say, notice it. And realize that when you say that, when you do that, you're literally harnessing the power of the name of God, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, to keep yourself away from who you really are, to deny who you really are. Just notice it. There doesn't have to be any guilt or anything else, but we need to begin by noticing what we are claiming to be, and then reclaim who I really am. I am that. I want only that, the real reality itself. And that's going to kind of lead us into the direction of our Master Teacher Within lesson. By the way, I want to thank everybody who's already gone and downloaded their free copy of the Master Teacher Within. I just checked right before the session. That book is the #2 best-selling spiritual book on Amazon. So if you haven't gotten your copy yet, what are you waiting for? It's only this week that, and people are asking, well, why are you giving away 10,000 copies for free? Like, because that which is freely received should be freely given. I truly believe that this is it. This is the moment. So give it all away. Don't hold anything back. Why would I rather get the $1.50 than get everything? If you buy the book, I'm going to get about $1.50 from it. All right. Now, 10,000, 20,000. Yeah, that's not bad if it adds up. But why not give everything and then receive it all? So that which is freely given is always freely received. So give everything. So I'm so happy to be giving that away. So if you haven't gotten your copy yet, go get it. It's only till Friday. So I want to read the Master Teacher Within lesson for the day. Look where to go. Here it is. This is so simple. This is not a very long one. It's very simple. It's very direct about truth, about who you are. So listen with your heart wide open. There is no substitute for truth, just as there are no solutions within illusions. There's no substitute for truth, just as there are no solutions that can be found in illusions. Truth is what it is because it's real, but illusions will never be what they claim because they are unreal. Herein lies your salvation. You still believe that you have the ability to choose both. Truth in some moments and illusions in others. But there's only one true choice that can be made. You can't choose both reality and unreality. The world you see will reveal the decision that you make. Look around yourself and observe the fruits of your decision. Do you perceive conflict and difficult circumstances wherever you look? Or do you look through these things, through the facade to the holy place where heaven resides? Never forget that you can always choose again. Make the choice that leads to your true home rather than away from it. If you find that you're choosing illusions, or that you're living in a world where there's conflict and indecision and all of these other things, that's fine. Just choose again. That's the gift of heaven, literally. The gift of heaven is that you can always make a new choice. If you find yourself locked in the dream, choose to awaken. Always remember that reality itself never changes, which means that you can choose it at any moment, and it will be the same for all eternity. Reality is what it is for all eternity. So choose it now. The only time a true choice can be made. The beloved chose you before time began and will never release you. The ego's dream is futile, but the soul's reality is eternal. Choose to receive what you can never escape. I like that. Choose to receive what you can never escape. That is the only thing left for you now. How simple. Choose to receive that which always receives you. Choose to love that which always loves you. The real world is forever real, and illusions will always be illusions. And anything that we choose away from the reality that we are for eternity, who we really are, anything we choose away from that that seems to lead us in another direction, simply is a futile attempt to make the unreal real. But it's futile. And when it comes to truth, resistance is futile. See, I can get a Star Trek thing in there. Resistance is futile. You cannot resist the truth forever. You can seem to be resisting the reality that is forever real within you, but you can't do it forever. In fact, you really can't do it all, because all you really do is spin within that loop of guilt. because that's all time is. Time is nothing more than a guilt loop. I used to always say that, actually, we watched The Fabelmans last night, and those of you saw it, there was a train set. There was, in that case, it was one of those really nice Lionel trains with the motor and a big circle. But when I was a kid, we had one that was smaller, and in the middle there was like a little garage, a little plastic garage. It had spinning wheels like this, and it was actually not a train. It was for these little Hot Wheel cars, and the Hot Wheel would go through it and zing, it would zing out. And it would have enough momentum to come all the way around, then it would zing out again. So it would just stay in this loop. It would just keep going in a circle, and it could have forever, as long as the battery was still running. If the battery ran out, then it would no longer do it. But this is exactly what we do with guilt, right? We use guilt to keep us away from the reality that is forever real. As soon as something happens that seems to back up my inner belief that I am guilty, because that is the foundation of the ego's thought system. I'm guilty. For what? I'm not really sure, but I'm going to find something. I'm going to find something that will prove what I already believe. Now, the truth is, you think that you're guilty because you turned away from that which never turns away from you. Call that God, call that the beloved, call it reality. But the idea, which is that most religions have their concept of the fall, Adam and Eve, that decision to turn away from that which could never turn away from you. And so there's this foundation of guilt within us. We did something that we can't undo. But the truth is, you can't accomplish the impossible. You can't turn away from everything, all reality. But in your mind, you can seem as if you had. You can pretend that you had. So that foundation of guilt, and then we look outside of ourselves for even the smallest little thing to back it up. Oh, when I was a kid, I stole a Snickers bar from the store. Guilt loop. How many of you stole a candy bar when you were a kid? Just to say you did it, or just to... And then you go through that little garage, and what was that again? What did you say, Pierce?
Just to eat it.
Just to eat it. It wasn't to prove anything. It was just she was hungry. But every time that little guilt loop spins us out, and then we look for bigger things because that track seems to get bigger, right? It's no longer just a small one. It gets bigger and bigger. So we need more energy. We need more battery power to spin out in guilt. But guess what? None of it was ever real. None of it was ever real. It was all an idea in your mind to prove an unreality. But you can't prove an unreality, can you? The unreal cannot be proven because it is what it is. It's not real. But reality is always proven if you would just relax into it. So the only question is, when are you going to relax? When are you going to give up that guilt loop? You know what? The way I used to teach this, I remember the first time I was in Croatia back in 1995. And I asked them, how do you say, so what? Some of you may remember this. I've talked about it before. They said, so what is Pashto? And then that had some pop to it. Pashto. I keep hearing, is that you? I keep hearing, it's like your voice is bouncing off, and I keep hearing this little giggle behind me. It's always someone giggling behind you. Okay, Pashto, right? And so I would have them do an exercise whenever they would think something or do something that they would think was silly or wrong or something that they might usually make themselves guilty for. Instead of just zinging through that guilt loop again, just say, Pashto. So what? I did something. So what? I'm going to do 5 more things this hour. That's just normal. But I don't have to use it to claim the unreal, to proclaim that I'm something that I'm not. And the funny thing is, the more you say, so what, every time you come to that little garage that's supposed to spin you out through the guilt loop, every time you say, so what, or pashto, or whatever it is, the ego doesn't know what to do with that. The ego says, what do you mean, so what? This proves something. Like, no, it doesn't. It proves nothing. And I can get off this track anytime I want. And so pretty soon what happens is there's a gap in that track. And at first the gap is small. Every time you say pashto or so what, there's a tiny gap in that track. But at first the car or you are able to jump it because you're so embedded and conditioned to be in this loop that you can just jump right over that gap. But every time you do that, and as you keep proclaiming, it doesn't matter, so what? That little gap gets bigger and bigger until finally you can't jump it anymore. And then you're free. You're free of guilt. You're not spinning through that guilt loop anymore. And this is where we find ourselves now. We come together to shine the light on all of these egoic, futile ideas. I'm guilty. I'm wounded. I'm a body that's going to grow sick, old, and die. No, you're not. That's not who you are. You are the effervescent reality of, I can't think of where to go with that. I got stuck halfway, so I'll just abandon.
I'll
You're
take it later.
okay. Good. I'll turn it over to Scott. Just start with the word effervescent, because that's the word. We are effervescent. We're bubbling up. We're just springing forward. We're alive. Doesn't that feel good?
Yes.
That's why we come here to rejoice in this reality, this truth, to have fun with it. I hope that all of you who are watching on the Zoom can feel the fun that we feel here. And I hope that it transmits right through the screen, because living here at Namaste is fun, because we're off the guilt loop and we're just living. I mean, the weather helps, yeah, but it's more than the weather. All right, so enough from me. I noticed that Alden and Darla are in the room, and Vicky is moving today. I think she'll be back tomorrow. So Alden and Darla, you had 2 wonderful months with us, so you know how we roll. Why don't you share a little bit? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, James. Thank you all. We send our love and light. Wow. A lot of beautiful stuff there, James. I am awake and ready now. That's a great way to begin our day always. Not just awake, we're ready and we're ready now, right? Thank you so much. Yeah, another thought I wrote down, there is no substitute for truth. Absolutely. And it reminded me of today's lesson, I will there be light. And it's just that choice, right? Then the guilt is gone. You even begin to have guilt, or you even go there where you're just slightly you're out of grace and just forgetting who you are. Then you go for the solution, right? And I'm so grateful. My mind will way more times than not just jump right to the solution. Okay, what do I want? Right? I'm awake now, I will there be light, I want peace instead of this, I kind of go for the solution kind of quickly. And that just brings you right back to this present moment. And Alden was reading part of the lesson today, I will there be light. And there's a line in there that says something to the effect, it's not my will to grope around in darkness and in shadows. And I saw Gollum right away in my mind, that Gollum part of us, that Lord of the Rings, that just gropes around in the darkness looking for his precious outside of himself, and his precious is right within him. And and the other thing I want to mention is I'm just so grateful for the book that you have offered, the new book, the master teacher within. It's beautiful. It's God-given, just wow, the Christ within just extending to creation. And I'm grateful for it. I downloaded it today. That was fun. And it's great to purchase it when that's the thing to purchase it. But it felt like a gift directly from you, James, to receive it today. Just in the for free on my Kindle. It was just felt great. It just, wow, a gift from James today. And although you are the gift that keeps on giving anyway. So yeah, it's a beautiful day. This is a beautiful remembrance. And I'm my Kindle for some reason is kicking up here, but I just wanted to share a little thing here. Meanwhile, Alden, you want to say hello or something while I look up my go ahead.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be part of Namaste Village from a distance. And it's just an amazing thing to connect in with everything that's going on there and here and everywhere finally. And yeah, Darla brought up that we were looking at the lesson this morning about I will there be light. But at the end it says, as you access true perception, which is this idea James just brought up, as soon as you get off that guilt circle and repetitive circle of darkness, you begin to see with true perception. And it's not a total awakening that takes you beyond this world, but it's a world that allows you to complete your function in this world with true perception. And you begin to see with true perception as you will the truth to be true, which is the light. And peace is the effect of seeing that and seeing truly. When you see in this new way, that is the illustration of how you escape the guilt circle, you begin to see how everyone is a friend and that everyone becomes part of a new kind of circle of light, a universal friendship, a kingdom, a new kind of kingdom of God where everyone is connected and there is no fear. That's what getting off the circle of light is, or getting off the circle of darkness and guilt. And so we are here now experiencing this new interconnected network of light beings that isn't necessarily a location like Namaste Village, but it could be. We'll see new villages popping up all around the world connected by this circle of light. And we're experiencing that here now in Wisconsin. And we're so glad to see the beginnings of a new kind of relationship, friends of God. That's who we are now. And it's starting to connect out in a much larger framework than just one village or one YouTube channel. It's going to be everywhere. It's a beautiful thing. And we're very grateful that James has kicked off an important beginning of all this. So thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Alden. And in light of that, I want to give you thanks, James, for your introduction to your book. And I knew you had a deep relationship with the master teacher that we had in body form for a moment that we shared. And but I really saw your deep love and appreciation and oneness with the teacher that we shared, whom we called the master teacher, who led us to the master teacher within. And it's just beautifully put and just profound. Your appreciation and love and just your willingness, wow, to just go with that memory and go deeper and even kick off this book. So, and then the beautiful picture you put in there that had that of our teacher called the master teacher that Ellie told me, his daughter, she said, when you see that picture, she said, I'll send it to you too. I told her it was in your book. She said, you'll see that expression, that it was so familiar to us, like, I'm sharing my secret with you. We got a secret, I'm not really this, I'm not really here, this is not our home. And So leading you within. So just that expression is so beautiful in that picture. And I heard you got that commissioned. But I just want to quickly read this as I was reading your introduction. This really stood out to me, the end of this little section. The voice for Christ is revealed. This was said to you when you asked a question about the master teacher within idea. The voice for Christ is revealed in this present moment and speaks through any consciousness that claims it, right? I will there be light. I am awake and I'm ready, right? So that's that consciousness that claims it. The only question is, will you choose to claim it? Now, there is only now, right? Since now is the only moment it's possible to claim reality. The answer must be yes, no matter how you choose to experience it. So stop messing around with ideas like who or why. Concern yourself only with yes and now. Then you'll lift above the limitations of belief into the timeless reality. This is what James is saying every day, where I am and where you're standing right next to me. So that's just so beautiful, James. And I thank you for that. And whew, oh my gosh, thank you. I think I just felt our teacher right here and now, our inner teacher. Thank you. Thanks, James. Love you all.
It's amazing that you read that, because I had it all queued up, exactly what you just read. I had it all queued up to read. And yet, so let me just put this up here. So let's get out of the glare. So
Such a beautiful picture. Wow.
that's the picture she's talking about. He was my and our awakener, but as you said so beautifully, Darla, that was the master teacher that seemed to be outside of us, leading us to the master teacher within. And I'm forever grateful for his presence in my life and our life. But I love what you just read, where he says, stop asking questions, stop messing around with ideas like who or why. Concern yourself only with yes and now. Then you'll lift above the limitations of belief into the timeless reality where I am and where you're standing right next to me. That's the key. We don't have to worry anymore about who it is or why it is or where it is or anything. It's now. It's you. It's always been you. So claim it. Claim that which has always claimed you. That's it. It's so simple. And there is an explosion of grace that expands from us when we choose in that way. So make the choice. This is the moment right now. So I'm going to invite Scott up. He's going to do something with the word effervescent. That's all I know. To wrap up this beautiful teacher. So once again, if you haven't gotten your Master Teacher Within book yet, please go and get it at Amazon. It is free until Friday. So go get your copy. Here's Scott.
Wasn't there a sentence, not just one word, but a sentence that you wanted completion that just didn't
I'm
come?
trying to say
The bubbly.
the effervescent, bubbly something.
Okay.
Then I lost it.
Okay. Effervescent bubbly keeps me out of trouble. No more stealing Snickers bars at all. Why would I steal when I'm everything? All I want is to spread my wings, dance and leap and hug and sing for joy. 'Cause effervescence is my I am presence of the master teacher within. Is my essence. I'm the presence of the master. Let's just keep repeating that. Effervescent is my essence. I am the presence. The presence of the master teacher within. Essence is my essence. I'm the presence of the master. Yes, and now I allow my whole being to be God's wow. All there is yes, and this now. Yes, and now I allow my whole being to be God's wow. All there is yes, and now.
Wow. As always, thank you. The effervescent essence of the sacred presence that's within us now. The master that is within us now, revealing itself everywhere in every moment. So don't hold back. Give it all. This is the moment. This is the moment you chose. So let's be about it. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So how do we close this? Or just, let me see, what do I have here? Yeah, let's do the unity prayer for protection. That's always nice. Let me try and bring it up. There it is. Okay, we haven't done that in a while. So let me go ahead and bring this up and we will share the unity prayer of protection. Okay, there we go. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Amen. 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 Y punto. Period. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you all.
Thank you. Love you all. See you
We love you
tomorrow.
all so much.